Hello there, my fellow myth and fantasy nerds. My name is Tanner, and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. Why, yes, as a matter of fact, this is a brand new hat. I saw it on Amazon a while ago and thought it looked cool, so I thought I'd treat myself. Not gonna lie, it definitely looks like something a leprechaun would wear, which, considering I am of Irish descent, is not a complaint. Anyway, about a year ago, I created a team of original characters that are meant to live in the world of the web series RWBY. Now, for those of you that don't know, RWBY is an animated show that is set in the four kingdoms of Remnant. Now, there are four academies, one for each of the kingdoms, that train students to become hunters and huntresses, warriors that battle the monstrous creatures of Grimm, or just Grimm for short. Now, the hunters and huntresses form teams of four individuals, and every character that's been introduced in the show has a name that either sounds like or evokes a color. And the team names tend to take the initials of each team member and combine them into a name that also sounds like a color. For example, the main team, Team RWBY, is made up of Ruby Rose, who's based on the color red, Vice Schnee, who's based on the color white, Blake Belladonna, based on the color black, and Yang Xiaolong, based on the color yellow. Also, each character introduced is based on characters from various myths, legends, and fairy tales. For example, Ruby is based on Red Riding Hood, Vice is based on Snow White, Blake is based on Beauty and the Beast, and Yang is based on Goldilocks. Now, each hunter and huntress also wields a weapon that tends to have aspects based on multiple real life weapons. For example, a scythe that can turn into a rifle, a sword that can become a crossbow, gauntlets that also act as shotguns, you name it. Another thing that hunters and huntresses have is something called a semblance, which acts basically like a personalized superpower. Now, trust me, all of these things and more will make sense when I introduce you to my characters and their team. So, as always, please make sure to leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe down below. Pretty please! It'll help me make more content for you. And without further ado, allow me to introduce to you my RWBY OC team, Team Cobalt. So, to start out, Team Cobalt's overarching theme is that all of the characters on the team are based on and inspired by a constellation. And as such, will have the name of their constellation inspiration, say that 5 times fast, somewhere in their name. Or at the very least, something that sounds like the name of their constellation. So, the first character of my team, and my author avatar, if you will, is named Cobalt Pavo, or Coby for short, based on the constellation Pavo, the peacock. Now, Coby is a natural leader, and also acts as the team face, if you will. He is charismatic, confident, yet can be somewhat cocky. He also has a bit of an ego and loves it when people compliment him. However, this tends to work against him, as he can definitely be hurt by someone insulting him, especially if that insult is anti-faunus. For context, in the world of RWBY, there are two distinct races, if you will. Those being the humans and the faunus, who are treated by humans as second-class citizens. Now, faunus basically look like ordinary humans, but with one animal-like feature somewhere on their body. For example, the main faunus character in the show, Blake, has cat ears, and Coby has a peacock tail growing from his lower back. Now, Coby's weapon is called Peacock's Euphoria, and it takes the form of a pair of bladed battle fans. Think like multiple knives or daggers joined together in the shape and function of a folding fan. Now, these weapons are very formidable on their own. However, like most weapons, they are able to channel the magical substance known as dust for various effects. Coby's semblance is called bliss, which basically allows him to leave others in a state of euphoria, leaving them vulnerable to suggestions. So think of it more persuasion and less hypnosis. Now, this semblance is channeled through the eye spots on his tail. Now, this next character on the team is a human girl named Lyra Banan, based on the constellation Lyra, the Lyre. Now, Lyra is the heart of Team Cobalt, the one who tends to charge in when she sees someone in need, and the one to spur her teammates into doing the right thing. She's very bubbly, fun-loving, kind, and caring, and is very social with other people. She loves music, joking around, and playing matchmaker with other people, whether they want her to or not. However, this does tend to make her a little too trusting of other people, which can definitely get her and her teammates into trouble at times. Now, Lyra's weapon is called Titan's Choir, which takes the form of, what else, a lyre, with an extendable sword blade on one side, which can channel dust through both the blade and the strings. Now, her semblance, called orchestra, allows her to manipulate the sound of her lyre for various effects, more often than not offensively by amplifying the sound, if that makes sense. Now, the third member of the team, Laurel Heraclen, is based on, you guessed it, Heracles, both the mythical hero and the constellation. Now, Laurel, if you haven't already guessed, is the team muscle. She very much prefers to let her strength do the talking for her, and is tough, stoic, hardworking, and very protective of her friends and teammates. However, this does tend to make her a bit stubborn and quick to anger, and she definitely has a tendency not to look before she leaps. Now, her weapon, which I've dubbed the Nemean Club, is a club with a lion's head carved into it, which can convert into a cannon that shoots dust-infused cannonballs. Her semblance, called Lion's Tenfold Strength, allows her to temporarily enhance her strength by a factor of 10. However, when she, for lack of a better term, powers down, she is left completely exhausted for a while after. So now we move on to the fourth and final member of Team Cobalt, Orin Trubolt, based on the constellation Orion, the Hunter. Now, Orin is the brains of Team Cobalt, acting as the calm, tactical, strategic one who tends to attack from the shadows and strike from a distance, and tends to strategize before he acts. However, this can be his downfall, as he is very prone to overthinking, especially when one of his well thought out plans goes horribly awry. Now, it's this calm, tactical, strike from afar personality that allows him to also act as the team lancer, creating a perfect foil to Coby's more confident, in your face personality and leadership style. Now, Orin's weapon is called Hunter's Spirit, and it takes the form of a sword that can butterfly out into a bow, which can shoot arrows that have been tipped in dust. His semblance is called target practice, and it allows him to manipulate the trajectory of his arrows as they fly. And there we have it. That was my RWBY OC team, Team Cobalt. If you liked this video and you want more, please consider leaving a like and subscribing down below so you don't miss any new content from me. So what do you think of Team Cobalt and the characters that I created for them? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you have any other ideas you want to see in future videos, please leave those suggestions in the comments down below as well. Who knows, it might just happen. Alright, well, that's all the time I have for this video, so I'll see you all next week with some brand new content for you. See you guys then.